Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another New York Jets related video. Now, this one is something I've been really wanting to do for quite some time. This is something that I have been preaching about, especially on the internet, specifically on these forums that I've been a part of since January of 2015. I have been preaching about this for years now. And it seems that it's falling on blind eyes and deaf ears. Or as the saying goes, in one ear and out the other. And that is the New York Jets organization and, and their inability to not only bring in good quality offensive linemen, but bring in good quality coaches to develop them. More specifically, we haven't had a good offensive line coach in years. The last time we had a good offensive line coach, to my knowledge, was Bill Callahan, who's now the offensive line coach for the Cleveland Browns. And when he was the offensive line coach, our offensive line was one of the best in the NFL. I wasn't crazy about John Benton. To me, he was hit or miss. Keith Carter is a disgrace. I mean, this guy has done a piss-poor job in coaching up Mekhi Becton and coaching up Laken Tomlinson. He's blessed to have Joe Tippmann. Joe Tippmann is a once-in-a-generational talent as far as I'm concerned. He did a shit job with Max Mitchell, and he did a shit job with the other guys, too. Granted, he also had Elijah Vera-Tucker, who was also a once-in-a-generation type of player, but you can't always count on having those type of guys. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, but Charles, Mekhi Becton has sucked this year. Yes, but not all of it's on him. I think what really has hurt Mekhi Becton, other than his own faults, his rookie year in 2020 was very good. And that's despite the fact we had a crappy coaching staff led by Adam Gase, but for some reason, they brought out the best of Mekhi Becton that year. Obviously, his second year, he was playing pretty decently until he got banged up until Greg Van Roten, who for some reason couldn't handle playing in New York, decided to play like hot garbage and get shoved right into the back of Mekhi Becton's legs, which was very brutal. Then, of course, the following year, his knees haven't fully healed. And this year, he hasn't really missed much time this year. But what I will say is that, yes, he's given up 11 sacks. Yeah, he's been penalized a lot this year, but a lot of that is coaching. I'm not saying Mekhi Becton can't do no wrong. I'm not one of those people. But I'm one of those people that still believes in Mekhi Becton's talent and potential. I've always liked Mekhi Becton. I was very impressed with him his rookie season. But goddamn. Obviously, this year, Mekhi Becton has given up close to 12 sacks this year, which is atrocious. But the thing is, not all of it's his fault. Keith Carter has done a terrible job in coaching him. He's done a terrible job in coaching up this offensive line. This offensive line has fucked our season. We can shit on Robert Saleh, we can shit on Joe Douglas at times, and we can definitely bark at Nathaniel Hackett. But what really fucked our season this year was the crappiness of our offensive line. Our fucking offensive line has been a disgrace this season. Our quarterbacks, whether it was from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson to Tim Boyle and even Trevor Siemian, almost every fucking time I've seen them come on the field, every fucking time they drop back to pass, they're almost constantly running for their fucking lives. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of that shit. Like, what the hell? Joe Douglas, you're supposed to be an offensive line guru. I do believe you can bring in good quality offensive linemen. But the fact is, you brought in a shit coach to develop that offensive line. If Keith Carter is to get fired, which he should, because the guy sucks. Here's who I want to be our offensive line coach. Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans legend Mike Munchak. Whenever this guy was on the coaching staff, offensive line coaching staff, the offensive line that he coached was one of the league's best. He was one of the offensive line coach for many seasons on the Tennessee Titans, and their offensive line was really good for many years. And from 2014 to 2018, he was the offensive line coach for the Steelers. Their offensive line was sensational. And from 2019 to 2021, he coached the Denver Broncos offensive line, and their offensive line was pretty damn good. So what I'm trying to say is that it's rare for an all-time great player in Mike Munchak, who's a Hall of Famer, by the way, as a player. Played his entire career for the Houston Rockets as Tennessee Titans. But it's rare for a great coach, a great player, to be a good coach. To be a good coach. Doesn't have to be a head coach, but a good coach in general. You know what I'm saying? And I think Mike Munchak should be hired at the end of the year, heading into next season. I think Keith Carter should be gone because he fucking sucks. He's done a terrible job with Mekhi Becton. As a matter of fact, I think he fucked Mekhi Becton's future here. Because I was really looking forward to Mekhi Becton kicking some ass this year. He didn't do much for Laken Tomlinson to rebound this year, so he's most likely gone at the end of the year. Connor McGovern was playing his ass off. Elijah Vera Tucker was playing well until he got fucking hurt. Max Mitchell wasn't that good this year. He was very inconsistent. Billy Turner was terrible. You know, a lot of these fucking players we brought in didn't do shit under Keith Carter. And that's another thing. Where's the commitment and demand for excellence on this coaching staff? Like, what the hell? Great coaches bring out the best in their players. Whether it's a head coach, a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator, an offensive line, it doesn't fucking matter. The only two good coaches I see on the coaching staff are Jeff Ulbrich and Brent Boyer. Those guys have done their fucking jobs this year. But the other ones, especially Keith Carter's got to fucking go. He's got to fucking go. If they keep it for next year, we're fucked. Doesn't matter what fucking offensive lineman we bring in, unless if it's an all-time great offensive line prospect from college, he ain't doing shit here. And the thing is that I said our offensive line has been shit since 2016. And, you know, I really blame the coaching staff for its inability to bring in a good quality offensive line. Because I'm not just blaming Joe Douglas. I'm not just blaming Robert Saleh. I'm also blaming our asshole owner, Woody Johnson. Like, bringing up, do you want to fucking win or do you want to continue being the goddamn laughingstock? It seems that Woody Johnson does not give a fuck about the future of the team. He only wants fucking headlines. He doesn't care about what we fans want. What we want is confidence. What we want is a fucking winner. You know? I'm real fucking tired of this bullshit. I really fucking am. I'm really fucking tired of this shit. Like, honestly. If the Jets don't even consider in bringing in Mike Munchak, then they all gotta fucking go. The entire coaching staff and Joe Douglas. Because they did not do Mekhi Becton justice. They certainly have a John Cho Dipman justice. Yes, he's playing great, but he needs to. But even though he has played phenomenal football this year, and I got to give Joe Dipman some love. But who's his supporting cast? They're not playing well. It's not always on the fucking players. I think a lot of it, I think a lot has to do with the shitty coaching. Because what I saw from Mekhi Becton his rookie season was phenomenal. Not phenomenal. Was very, very good. And, ew, that shit. The little box on my screen. I'm sorry. But, you know, honestly, a great coach would bring out the best in their players, would demand and commitment and excellence from their players. And I haven't seen that on this coaching staff. I know the Jets are not watching my videos, but if they are, bring in Mike Munchak. Fuck Keith Carter. He sucks. Anyways, peace out.